What are my thoughts on the Baylor spring football game? Well, first of all, Blake Shapen didn't look as good as Sawyer Robertson, which that was not the case sometimes in practice. So take it for what it's worth. Blake, from what I heard, has taken a step in the right direction in terms of leadership role. But he had a few throws that could have been picked off, but it wasn't. Because of course, I think part of the passing game problem was wide receiver injuries as well. A few of them that didn't play in this game. Sawyer Robertson has a slower release, while compared to Blake, that he needs to work on his footwork still, and not just rely on his just arm talent. But Sawyer Robertson's definitely the better runner of the two. There's no question. And he's taller, of course, and more built. He did seem like if there's a guy open, it wasn't open, he'll just take off and run. But we gotta remember this. Shapen is more used to the system offensively compared to Sawyer Robertson. Because Sawyer Robertson in high school and at Mississippi State, they ran the air raid offense, like the spread offense. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see who's going to be named the starter here. If it's Blake Shapen, I think he's going to be on a short leash. I would think so. Because he can't have what happened last year happen again. I mean, now running back room wise, it's definitely one of the strengths. We got four solid. I mean, true freshman Bryson Washington, Dominic Richardson, Quyon Jones, and Richard Reese. I mean, we're fine there. Tight ends is also another strength. I mean, Jake Roberts, Drake Dabney, Kelsey Johnson, and Gavin Yates, they look good there. I mean, offensive line, of course, we know the Barrington brothers came over from BYU. They still need to work on that pass blocking a little bit, but the run blocking overall as a group looked really good. I mean, they still need to work on their pass block because they did give up some sacks, and granted, the sacks in the game were more like you touched quarterback, not fully tackle. I mean, because you don't want quarterbacks to get hit. I mean, in spring games. So really, they're still working on like rotating a few guys besides the Barrington brothers. They're obviously going to be starters. It's just finding the right unit. I mean, right lineup. I mean, for that. Of course, we had some wide receivers out due to injury, like Jordan Neighbors, for example. And Amari Renfield, by the way, has not practiced all spring. Hopefully, both of those guys will be ready. Well, I know Jordan Neighbors, from what I heard, he was like in a different color, like a yellow jersey for caution in practice, but they didn't want to risk him here. Hopefully, it's better. I mean, Monterey Baldwin, he did pretty good in this game. I know Keytron Jackson didn't do as good in the game, but compared to practice he did a lot better. He did better, and so you definitely like that. And Josh Cameron and Hal Presley. The secondary, like the defensive backs, I meant the corners for the game, they look better than they have been in practice. But I wonder if it's because they're used to the scheme, what they need to, what they see in practice. Usually they're used to the offensive scheme by now. I mean, that's the thing. But they still need to work on forcing turnovers. And I know Isaiah Dunson he's a physical corner. He still needs to work on it, on his coverage. And of course, we're playing more man-to-man than that zone from last year. And I think that's part of the new getting used to it. I do expect maybe they get a transfer at corner, like the Rhode Island corner, for example, that's in the transfer portal. So the secondary prior as a whole didn't look as good defending the pass until this game. Of course, safeties, they looked okay. They still need to work on their turnovers, like I said, as a unit. But I know Devin Lemire, who is a safety, by the way, missed all spring with the off-season shoulder surgery. I mean, so they're probably going to have to go after another defensive back or two. So that's one thing. And defensive line, they look good, but it was just unfortunate that Jarrell Boykins, that junior college transfer that's 330 pounds, he got hurt in the game. It didn't look great. I just hope he's going to be ready for the fall. And Trey Emery has missed all spring. And who also didn't play in this game was converted linebacker Jackie Marshall. So we're playing Cooper Lance or somebody a little bit smaller at the middle. Of course, Gabe Hall looked good. TJ Franklin looked good. So we definitely are trying to look at a transfer there. I know they got that. They had that Oregon guy over the weekend. A guy from Oregon over the weekend. I can't recall his name. So I definitely know linebacker wise, they look good. I mean, they looked okay. Not great, but not horrible either. It's more like underwhelmed. They didn't overwhelm you. I mean, Josh White and Carmelo Jones, they both showed flashes, but at times, but other times they didn't. I mean, they were good. I mean, the linebackers, like I said, good, but not great, but not horrible either. I mean, of course, the stars for sure would be Mike Smith and Matt Jones. And the depth at that position is like 7 deep. And remember, we got a Utah State transfer coming in, and he's probably gonna be like a jack linebacker, and that'll help even more. And I know I said initially on that video he had 2 years of eligibility. I meant it's just one, but still, it doesn't hurt. I mean, that's pretty good to know. So, yeah, there might have been some other guys hurt that didn't play in this game. I know Isaiah Hankins missed a field goal, for example, and it was more like offense versus defense in this game. As if you could tell by the game and all, it was green on defense while gold on offense. So, and it was the first time for Dave Aranda to do like offense versus defense in a spring game. And the offense totaled combined everybody 319 yards and 3 touchdowns in the air and finished with 236 yards rushing. So it's not accounting for sacks and everything. So and they did like the game was played normally in the first and second quarter, but it featured a 30-minute running clock in the second half. So yeah, I think the quarterback competition still needs to go on, in my opinion. Wait till the fall. Don't name a quarterback now, because I know Blake Shapen has looked good in practice, but maybe he's a practice player, not a game player. I mean, I do see the upside of having Sawyer Robertson at quarterback. He's just not used to the system yet. It's a different system, like I said. I mean, spread offense / air raid compared to the wide zone. It's more pro style. And more under... He still needs to get used to under center as well. So... And of course, Isaiah Hankins made every extra point. And Jack Stone drilled a 28-yard field goal. So that's good to see. And we know the first game is September 2nd against Texas State here. So it's going to be interesting what happens in the rest of the offseason. As we all know, the transfer portal period for sure closes for this cycle on April 30th. So we're going to have to get, maybe offensive line is another position to get a transfer at, but it has to be enough room. I wouldn't say wide receiver, for sure not tight end, for sure not linebacker, for sure not quarterback, as in like on offense. The defense, not linebacker, I mean, not the, maybe defensive line, I know they're looking for a rotation guy. I know they are. Same thing goes for the secondary, both cornerback and safety. I mean, they're probably more going for a corner, I would think, compared to a safety. But it could be both. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. So, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later. 5 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go. And if you want to leave your thoughts on the spring game, 2 for Baylor, put it in the comments below. It might be very, very similar to what I said. It's just, I'm just curious. That's all.